When the day of the flood came, Noah had his family and the believers board the boat he had constructed at God's command. This event is described in these words in the Quran. So when our command came, and water bubbled up from the earth, we said, "Load into it a pair of every species, and your family, except for those against whom the world was preordained, and all who believe." But those who believed with him were only few. The rain fell with a fierce intensity. There was no visibility, and everything was covered with water. The time of suffering had come. The associators fled everywhere in their despair, trying to save themselves. Yet all their efforts were in vain. God's promise had come to pass. All the unbelievers were drowned. Only those believers on Noah's boat were saved. When the flood came to an end, the waters receded, and the ark settled on a high place, described as Al-Judi. This is related in these words in the Quran. It was said, "Earth, swallow up your water, and heaven, hold back your rain." And the water subsided, and the affair was concluded, and the ark came to land on Al-Judi. And it was said, "Away with the people of the wrongdoers." Among those who had not boarded the ark and were drowned was one who had persisted in denial despite all the warnings issued to him. This was Noah's son. This is revealed in these words in the Quran. It sailed with them through mountainous waves, and Noah called out to his son, who had kept himself apart, "My son, come on board with us. Do not stay with the unbelievers." He said, "I will take refuge on a mountain. It will protect me from the flood." He said, "There is no protection from God's command today except for those he has mercy on." The waves surged in between them, and he was among the drowned. Noah's flood, described in the Quran and the Bible, has attracted people's notice for hundreds of years. A great many myths grew up around the flood, which were shaped in the light of the cultures of different civilizations. A great many different beliefs regarding the flood have thus come down to the present day. Those who deny the reality of Noah's flood support their view with the assertion that a worldwide flood is impossible. However, that criticism is aimed at distortions in the Torah. The Torah is the name given to the first 5 books of the Old Testament. It contains distortions that say that the flood was a cosmic event and that it engulfed the whole world. Yet the Quran does not make such an assertion. On the contrary, the relevant verses imply that the flood did not engulf the whole world, but drowned only Noah's people. The conclusion to be drawn from this is that the flood was a localized disaster. According to archaeological and historical findings, it occurred in Mesopotamia. The Mesopotamian plains have been suggested as the location of the flood. In this region flourished the oldest and the most developed civilizations known to history. In addition, lying between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this region is a suitable geographical setting for a great deluge. The second reason why this region is regarded as the location for the flood is historical. Astonishing documents can be found in the records of most of the civilizations established in the region. According to these documents, there was a great flood in the region that affected many civilizations at the same time. More important to us are the archaeological finds. According to these, the people living in Mesopotamia suffered a great many catastrophes over the course of history. Around the 2nd millennium BC, Ibisin, ruler of the large nation of Ur, situated to the south of Mesopotamia, described the year as coming after a flood that annihilated the borders between